Alrighty, what is going on, everybody? In today's video, we will be doing Steamy stacks for our next POI analysis. I have never really landed here often, but I did just VOD review the cash cups from MrSavage and his trio, so I have an idea on how the fights happen. So this is the layout for Steamy. We have these buildings are all numbered. I think this is, oh god, I know this is 5, this is 2, I think this is 3 and 4. I don't know where building 1 is and what the point is, but usually you want to make your callouts around the number of the buildings here. And then you have the 2 silos, parking lot, and then you can, I don't know, crates and shore, whatever you want to call like this spot over here. But 7, main chest has 7 chests over here. These two are pretty much connected because they're all close. It's 5 chests, and then back here has six chests, and then you have some spread out. So there's 23 chests in Steamy, and then including the 4 that's up here on shore, there's 27. So if you don't have time to hit shore, then you only have 23 chests, and then this is really the common breakdown of it. There isn't really anywhere else splits that you can kind of do. I mean, if you're given like all this, then you might be able to send one to the silo or something like that. I'll show you what MrSavage and his trio did for the splits right after this. I forgot my key button. Alrighty, this is MrSavage's Unconned Lootpath. You see here, he landed initially at this first silo, went down into building number 5, I think this is. Goes down, he enters through here, he loots inside, goes on top, and then exits out, and then he hits shore. So if we pull up Fortnite.gg, I'll have this on my second monitor, he gets 1 chest here, gets the 6 chest back here, then he gets the 4 chest up here, right? 5, 6, yep. So he gets 11 chests from this right here. 11 chests from MrSavage, and together, you know, it's a pretty, kind of the split is like this. So Endretta, you're going to see he's going to do this, Refsgaard, it's got this, and then they got like this. And the idea is that they all meet up on the cosmic chest that's over here, and then they fly on out. But I will show you the next Unconned split slash like paths that Endretta and Refsgaard has. Alrighty, here is Endretta's path. I'm sure. Check. Yep, this is Endretta's path. Yep. Endretta lands. I don't know why he landed here. But I don't know. He breaks in and he goes over here. There's a chest spawn here if we remember. So he gets 1 chest here. He hits all of main, which is 2, 6, 7 chests. Then he hits silo and meets up. So he gets 8 chests in total. Again, remember MrSavage is also doing this. He's going like this. Now I will be back with what Endretta, or not Endretta, what Refsgaard does. Alrighty, here is Refsgaard. Here is his looting path. So he drops down, he lands in. I think they just break the fence just to have some starting mats. He goes in here, he hits all of electrical, moves up and down. You can go into their cash cups and see like their exact movements if you want to replicate it like step by step. And they loop up like this, and he hits all of this while farming on the way. And the really good thing that MrSavage always did, and that not a lot of people do, is that he's farming everything. When they're running through, they are hitting absolutely everything. So they're hitting, you know, stuff that might give them 15 metal total. But the reason why they're able to do all this is because they end up leaving like 2, 3, 5 or something like that, because they're hitting brick walls, they're hitting all the fences, they're trying to get as much metal as they can get, and then leave. Get the silo and dip out. So now that we've talked about the Unconned loop path, and if we remember, let me go back here in a second. Alrighty, I am back here. So the Unconned loop path basically looks like 1 person, all of this. 1 person gets all of this. And the third gets all of this, including the shore up here, like this. That's kind of how they have the split. They all try to meet up on this silo here. He would be coming from over here like that. And then they always go to cosmic chest, because the cosmic chest is good. I mean, it is completely RNG what you get, but you know, getting basically anything other than AKs is pretty good. P90s, snipers, shotguns, scars. Like, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least get 3 out of the 4 options, like something like decent. Blue subs are still good, blue pumps, blue ARs, all that, especially if you are pretty shambles from Steamy. Now we're going to talk about a scenario where MrSavage, Endretta, and Refsgaard were conned in their trio cash cup, and how they played and where they landed and why I think they did that. Alrighty, so in a trio cash cup where they got third, I think, one of their games they had 2 teams contesting them, so 3 teams including them, and this was the layout. They had MrSavage landed right here. MrSavage landed right here, which put an S for Savage. Call him player 1. Endretta and Refsgaard both landed on this platform right here. But the difference is that Endretta went inside like this. Oh, awful color. Red. Endretta went inside and looted like that, and Refsgaard went down. He went down here and looted the square here. That's it. And if we remember Fortnite.gg, that isn't as much chest as over here and over here. But why did they do it? So here in total they get 3, 5. They have 5 chests here. That's it. 5 chests between 3 of them. But there is a lot of floor spawns. There's 32 chances for floor spawns all in here. They're more playing off of the floor spawns than they are anything else. But most importantly, there's easy access to both silos. This one also has easy access to both silos, but it's so far away that these teams can fight, and then you have to third party, plus the loot is farther away. And I mean, this is like a really safer option if you want to all land here, and then you can even send one person silo, something like that. So that's their setup. They have 2, 3, 1 here. The other team does, let's say 3. They all land here. Then the final team all lands here. That's the setup right now in their game. So what MrSavage, Endretta, and Refsgaard do is that they loot this up super quick. You know all the chests, you know where to look, all the floor spawns, and they full send this team here, all going from different angles. They pinched one guy super early on, killed him, and then cleaned up the other ones and killed them quick. Obviously, MrSavage in this trio is way better than whoever they were up against, but the theory and how they fought it still applies. Because the idea is that if we look closely at this building over here, let me erase. At this building over here, a lot of the chests are spread out. I mean, we have 2 chests over here, there's 2 over here, there's 2 over here, and there's 1 over here. So it'll take longer for these 3 in here to be able to loot everything. And they have to split apart, which is very bad in trios. You want to stay together in trios unless you're confident in taking your ones and fighting or whatever. So if they have 2 options. They can either A, loot all of this, one loot, one loot, one loot like this, and then MrSavage and Endretta's team and Refsgaard has to come and see if they can catch one of these guys out while they're looting, which is what happened, and that's how they won. Or the other option is that as 3, they all go around the building looting it together. Now the downside of that is that you'll have way less loot when Savage's trio arrives because you're covering far less space. You guys might be able to only loot all of this and be absolute shambles in loot, but all together. And I think that theory also applies a little less to this building over here. I just think they want to get the kill over with as soon as possible because they know they are the better players and they want to end this fight quick and be prepared for when this team flies in. Now what ends up happening in the fight is that they kill this team quick, and then the last team just posts on top of Silo. So all 3 of them just sit on top of Silo and they're just trying to tag Savage, Endretta, and Refsgaard when they're running around here. Now if they had to reboot, that would be pretty bad because then you have to reboot and these guys can fly on you and they kind of have the whole bird's eye view on you. But what they do is that they build MrSavage and Endretta, they hug the buildings like this. They all go into Silo together at the same time. And then they all fly up and they push, but they push from different angles like this. So Endretta lands first, and all 3 of them are looking at Endretta, and then Savage lands, and then Refsgaard lands behind them, and we kind of have this pinch over here where they're all pinching this silo from different angles, and it's just a complete clusterfuck for the people on the silos. Then, they start running down and flying out and doing all that, and then you can just absolutely laser them when they're flying out, and then you win. And then you just go about your business. You can go hit Cosmic Chest if you have time, or just rotate into zone. So nearby Steamy, we do have a Slurptruck that people can hit, a gas station, and then over here there are 3 houses, which is a common split that people do, is that they take the radar station that you can kind of see up here, the gas station, and 3 houses. They loot all of this might even hit Slurptruck. And this Slurptruck is conned by a fair amount of teams. We can get the split we just talked about, which is 1 team. We can get Orchard, which is over there, which is 2 teams, and then we have Steamy, which is 3 teams. So if you see this is not hit and this is not hit, it either means 2 things. 1, this team hasn't came down the mountain yet and hit it, or 2, no one landed there, or they were conned and they decided to push somewhere else. But most often, like most probable, it's either no one lands there or this is unconned. Now, if you fly over radar station up here and you can see if it's conned or not, then you can call out, okay, that's not conned. What if we all grab the fast car that spawns there 100% in the parking lot? There's a fast car. We all grab that, we go down, we hit this, and we all come back and loot. Or we fly out, or whatever you want to do. Hit it. So the Slurptruck can be utilized by the Steamy team. It's just that by the time you guys rotate out, especially if you're conned, there's no way you're gonna be able to hit the Slurptruck and come back and like contest Steamy. So this, if it's here, then that means that the nearby spots aren't hit, and then that can be some more loot on the ground for you guys. Speaking of Orchard and Corny and Spire and everything, a really good thing that Steamy is definitely known for. I mean, you have the silos, and the silos are free rotate, but they used to only able to bring you right around here. That's really it, or even before that. But you can silo to the Spire, then Spire more in. So that all that can take is about like 30 seconds, maybe at most, to get pretty far away. Because Steamy is all the way in the corner of the map, and you're already in the middle. And that can be good for W keying too, because you can land on Spire, scope out these 3 places, even check out on Zaid Hill if you have a sniper and can see far enough. And then you can decide, okay, I see a team fighting right here, so let's go Spire and land on top of them and key. Okay, Zaid Hill isn't conned, so let's go Spire over and we land over here and then run the rest of the way, or get the fast car from earlier and just fast car over. But you have vision on a lot of these places. Okay, Corny is fighting on top of Big House, let's go Spire in and key. Okay, Kami split over here and all the houses to the left don't look hit. So that means we can probably get some more metal if we need. We can probably maybe find a lot more better loot over here if we hit Kami split, as well as parasites from mini junk. Alrighty, here we are back on Fortnite.gg. We are looking at the nearby surge locations, and we're also going to talk about who can push into Steamy and where Steamy can push into, and we're just going to do that through Fortnite.gg because I think it'll be easier for you guys to understand. So depending on zone, obviously these are the closest surge spots where you might be able to get depending on when you Steamy. So first one we have Spire, which is close. So if zone pulled something like, I don't know, this would have to be something like this maybe. Then you could probably, I mean, Zaid Hill and these spots would be a lot better, but you could go here if you had a few kills off spawn and you only need like 100 surge or something like that. Now the second one is the bridge right here, either the edge of the bridge, the gas station, or this hill here. So what you could do is send to this spot, but have all 3 in. So you have one here, and like one over here. This way, the 1 can watch, this whole area, 3 can watch this whole area, and then 2 can watch this whole area. So then you're creating this giant like circle funnel, which you're trying to force people on the outside. And if they go up through the middle, then you can just get free surge on them. That's an option for almost all of these spots. The second one is, you grab the fast car that spawns right here, take the road, and you get onto one of the dirty mountains or Spire right here. You can sit and try to shoot at people that are either the dirty team if they're still fighting or whatever. Final, this one's probably the farthest one, is gas station over here. This is probably around the same path where your car all the way up here if you can. Go all the way through and base up on here to recycle your mats. Then obviously the most common ones, Zaid Hill and Stretch Mountain, I think it's called, are nearby surge spots that if you have time and you can get to. I mean, Zaid Hill is pretty free. Stretch Mountain is a little bit more psycho because you have to cross this bridge, and that's definitely a very hot zone. Alrighty, finally we are going to talk about who can rotate into Steamy and who Steamy can rotate into. So I don't think Steamy actually has a lot of people that can push them. Really the only people is that if someone does a split like this, then these guys can loot and be like, oh, Steamy's in zone, let's push into them. But even then, I think that would be weird. I don't think Orchard ever thinks about Steamy, and Dirty, I don't think Dirty would ever want to push into Steamy, because a lot of people don't like fighting in the silos. So if you aren't a Steamy team, fighting with these silos can be pretty confusing and difficult. So now let's talk about where Steamy can rotate into. Now because of the Spire and the silos, they have a fair amount of options. The silos can take them to either one of these. Spire can take them into Corny, they can push into Orchard, push down into Commie Split, they can go all the way down into Dirty, or they can go all the way up into Craggy. And really, they have tons of options to go fight the bridge team, but because of all the mobility they get, they can push any of one of these POIs if they wanted to. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this Steamy Stacks POI analysis. Let me know if I missed anything, but I really got all this information from MrSavage and his trio, and I think that they are probably the best team that lands at Steamy. So if you are somebody who is a Steamy player, I'll link MrSavage's channel in the description. As well, he has another channel called MrSavage Raw, which is just him uploading raw content of him and his trio or solos or duos playing whatever. It's amazing content if you want to learn Steamy and just watch, the communications and everything that happens. So yeah, hopefully you guys enjoy. Cheers.